Hello fellow makeup lovers, so today we're going to go ahead and do a build your own palette, and my inspiration for this was just that I wanted to do like my perfect cool toned eyeshadow palette. I've been loving cool tones recently, so I thought that we could go ahead and put a palette together. I'm just going to basically do a 12 pan palette. I already picked out this one from Coastal Scents because I love the packaging. I just feel like it's really nice and you can see through it. I like when I do build your own palettes to have something like this that has the indents, just because I feel like it makes it feel even more professional and like an actual palette. For some reason, I enjoy that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out a bunch of single shadows, and I'm just going to go through each palette that I have, pull out any cool tone shadows that really speak to me. Then we can go ahead and swatch them, put them together, like just do the whole process. So this first little palette I have here is from Cindy Grace Cosmetics, and I pulled this aside specifically for this video. It's all cool toned shadows. This was their cool tone mystery bundle, and of this I absolutely love this shade right here called Happy Accident. It's a really beautiful purple toned silver. And then I've got this shade here called Tuxedo, which is a really nice deep gray, almost black shadow. I feel like it blends really nice. It's just a great shadow to use. I'm going to pull that out as well. And then I'm going to pull out this transition gray shade, which is called Success, just because I don't think I have a lot of shadows like that, so we'll include that as well. These ones are not as exciting, so let's go ahead and move on. I also have a brand new shadow that I haven't used yet from Divina. This is a silver that they came out with. I made an order, and the owner went ahead and included this one as an extra as PR because she said it was a really, really nice shadow. It's called Moonlit, and I'm really excited to go ahead and try this one. So I definitely wanted to pull it out and most likely include this in my perfect cool tone palette. Doesn't that look absolutely stunning? Oh. Okay, next I've got this little palette here, which is full of, I believe this is the Butterfly collection from Luxie Beauty, and I do plan on reviewing this. I've been using it off camera, and I mean, if I could sum it up really quickly, unless you use these with a glitter primer, they're absolutely trashed. Like if you don't use a glitter primer, they will be gone from your eyelids in 30 minutes. It's kind of ridiculous. But I did want to go ahead and pull out one shade in here. This one is a little bit more cool toned. It's really beautiful. It's the shade Angel Wings, and it actually reminds me of my favorite shade in the Nikkie Tutorials Beauty Bay palette that I raved about. I used it in my first impression. It's just one of the prettiest shades ever. Okay, next let's see. This is a palette that has a bit of color pop, and I've also got some touch of glam beauty going on here. This shade's really pretty. I don't know how much pops of color I want to do in this. Actually, nothing is super calling to me out of this palette. Okay, we got another little palette here. Okay, so next we have this one, which is mostly all of my Glaminatrix Cosmetics single shadows, and then I've got a little bit of Makeup Geek. You can see I've got Corrupt here, which is such a pigmented black, but I already have the one from Cindy Grace, and I feel like that one's a little bit easier to blend. We've got, I mean, I guess we could go more blue. This one is the shade Midnight. Kind of has like a little bit of a blue undertone. We'll pull that out just in case. This is really, really pretty. Looks like such a nice light blue. We'll pull that out as well. Again, like I said, I don't really know how colorful I want to go yet, and then we'll pull this one, which is called Polar, out too. Is there anything else? I don't really feel, I don't know, I'm not that big of a fan of doing like a pop of cobalt, so I think I'm happy with that. Okay, we've got a little Lethal palette here. I literally can't remember what's in any of these. Okay, this is my Tracy Powders Room shadows, and I think I pulled this out because this one looks really pretty. It's called Lost Lavender. Okay, next we have a Z palette that I accidentally broke because I tried to pull it from the bottom instead of the top, and then also there's shadow everywhere. In here I have kind of a mixture of things, but a lot of this is my Emme Cosmetics shadows, so I definitely want to pull out this one right here. This is the shade Milk and 2 Drops of Coffee. I think that looks like a really nice transition. We've got like the perfect Periwinkle, which is called Periwinkle. This shade's really beautiful as well. Really nice purple. Gosh, I don't know. I feel like you could do a pop of purple or a pop of blue. Either way. This one looks pretty. It's called Cupcake Frosting, but I feel like that's not quite as cool toned as I want to go, so I think I'm good there. We've got this little palette here, which is filled with some M Cosmetics, but mostly my Cliona shadows that are like their round ones. And out of here, gosh, I don't know. This one's really pretty, but it has kind of a golden undertone. And then this blue's really pretty. Okay, actually, okay, next. All right, I've got a little palette here from Adept Cosmetics. And there is what that looks like. So this is actually the palette that I did as my like version of the Natasha Nona Trio Chrome palette. I know I called it Trichrome so many times. I totally did not see that O there. But I'm going to go ahead and pull out this one cool tone shade right here just because it looks nice. It's the shade Frizone from Divina. And then I'm also going to pull out this shade just because it's one of my favorite colors. It's a purpley blue. Who knows, maybe that'll be nice. And I think that's all I want from here. Okay, now we've got my giant palettes, so I'm not sure how well this is gonna fit in frame. Let me move all these shadows over. So here's my Divina palette. And obviously there's a lot of beautiful shades going on here. I'm just gonna like look through. We've got this one here, which is a nice gray option. It's called Elysium. Okay, this shade is absolutely stunning. This one right here, it's like a silver with a berry undertone. It's called Mystic. Definitely got to pull that out. All right, so here is my Terra Moons shadows. There's not as much cool tone going on here, but there's still some nice options. We've got, gosh, I don't know if that's cool tone enough. That's a little bit too just like neutral. So as far as all the iridescent shadows go, these are kind of the struggle because it's so much easier to see what they look like when I swatch them. So I'm kind of just going to move this around a little bit just to see if there's any that are really calling to me. I'm looking for something a little bit more cool toned. Maybe this one right here. What are you? This is the shade Atlas. I'm just going to go ahead and swatch it right off the bat. Okay, that has kind of like, oh yeah, that's a really pretty blue shifting shade. I think that'll work most likely. Let's see. There's one here that's a little bit more purple. This is Zero Gravity. Okay, we'll pull that too just in case. See where we want to go with this. Okay, so as of right now, here's all the shades that we've got pulled out. It's definitely a cute little mixture. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of rearrange these a little bit into just, I like to arrange them by depth because I don't want to have too much of the same thing. And I don't know, I'm weird about it. We've got the lightest shades here. These ones are pretty similar. We've got all transition shades right here. It's a little bit of a darker gray. Okay, we've got a pop of transition. We've got a purple there. Here's our different shimmer options. Gosh, okay. All right, so that makes me feel a little more organized. So let's just go ahead and start off by swatching some of these. This first one here is called Arctic from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. Look at that, such a pretty pop of light blue. So there's what that one looks like. Then we have Mystic from Divina. This one's definitely more berry, but I just feel like this is one of the coolest cool toned shadows, while also being really interesting. I don't know, I'm putting that towards the end. I feel like that'll probably end up in my palette. And then we've got Moonlit here. Oh my gosh, wow, look at that. Ooh, that is so pretty. Okay, wow, okay, that's probably gonna make it. Look at these colors, wow. Okay, so here we have Looksy Angel Wings, which is really beautiful as well. I don't know if that's quite, I feel like it's kind of similar to the Divina one. Obviously not the same tones, but I think I'm going to go ahead and put that one to the side, especially because I don't super love the formula. Then we have, oh wow. Wow, okay. I'm going to have to go look at what this shade is called from Emme Cosmetics. I'll leave it on screen. But it's a really beautiful soft purple. Okay, very pretty. And then last but not least, we have this one from Terra Moons, which is called Moontide, which is that really stunning blue purple. Oh man, I feel like I really want to include that one as well. Okay, so right now I went ahead and included this shade, and this shade. And that doesn't mean that the other shadows aren't going to make it. It just depends on when I put the shadows together all in like the 12 pan format if there's something I need to add in. Okay, so now we've got the shade Happy Accident from Sydney Grace and the shade, what was it, Lost Lavender from Tracy's Powder Room. And I feel like these are super I feel like these are super similar, so I want to go ahead and choose one or the other to add in as like a lighter shimmer option. So I guess we'll do Happy Accident first. I just love this shade so much. Put that right there. Look at that color. Stunning. And then here's Lunar Lavender, which this one, oh yeah, that's a lot more like gray, blue, silvery. Okay, see, those actually look a little bit more different than I was expecting. I feel like Happy Accident pulls at my heartstrings a bit more. So we're just going to put Lost Lavender. I keep calling it Lunar Lavender over here for now. I might actually end up doing both iridescent shades. I'm not sure yet. So now we have the matte options. I'm already pretty sure that I'm going to go ahead and include the Periwinkle just for something fun. Got Elysium from Divina. Nice pigmentation. There's what that one looks like. We've got Laminatrix Midnight. This one's definitely more of a blue-gray. Ooh, that looks really nice as well. And then we've got Tuxedo from Sydney Grace. That one's a little bit less pigmented, but it blends so well. I mean, it still looks really nice. I mean, all three of those look really nice, but I probably don't need all three, right? I think I'm probably going to go ahead and do the Laminatrix Midnight and Sydney Grace Tuxedo just because those have more of a difference in undertone. But there's my shades so far. There's 9 shades, so we can add 3 more. I have this one here, which is called Polar. That really pretty light blue. I think that just might add a little something extra different into this. So that's probably going to go in. And then we've got 3 lighter grays here, which honestly I feel like even having 2 of these, I feel like I just need 1. They look pretty similar, but let's swatch them. So we've got this one here, which is a really nice, just classic true gray. It's called Success. There's what that looks like. And then we've got Frizzen from Divina. Okay, actually that does have a little bit more. Oh, that's actually pretty nice. It has like a little bit of a purple undertone. It adds a little bit more variety. Okay, I'm not mad at that. And then we have Milk and 2 Drops of Coffee. Is that what it was called? Yeah, that's just a cute name. So there's what that looks like, which actually, that is super similar to the Divina one. It's just a little tiny bit lighter. So I think because I already have light shades, I'm going to go ahead and not do that one. And probably, I mean, that one, that one, that one. They're all pretty different, I would say. I'm kind of like slightly regretting not putting this light blue in just because I feel like that'll add a little extra something to this palette. I feel like this shade, even though it's a silver, it has like this goldenness to it and it like sticks out a little bit compared to everything else in the palette. I really love it, but I just don't know if it's right for this palette. But I think I'm going to take it out of the palette. So we've got that. Let's see. I like to kind of do things in a specific order, so the blue there, maybe this here. Okay, the dark grays. Got this one here, there, and then kind of do the pops of blue in the middle. Okay. Is that cute? So as I put it in the palette, I'm going to go ahead and swatch them all one by one just so you can see the entire color story together, but I'm really liking how it's looking. Okay, so the first shade going into the palette is Terra Moon's Atlas, which is a beautiful shade with a blue shift to it. Absolutely stunning. And then we're going to go ahead and do Terra Moon's Zero Gravity, which has a more purple pinky shift to it. I hope you can see that really well. It's so purple on the inner corner. And you know, I love inner corner shades, so gotta have them in pretty much every build your own palette that I do. Okay, next we have our first transition shade, Success from Sydney Grace Cosmetics. Just a nice classic gray. Then lastly for this row, we have Sydney Grace Happy Accident. Oh my gosh, this shade is just everything. Okay, moving on to our pop of color rose. Oops. Wow. I totally just broke that shadow, but moving on to our pop of color rose, starting off with Glaminatrix Arctic. Luckily, this is like filled to the max, so even breaking off a little chunk of it is not going to be a big deal, but this is such a pretty light blue. I just feel like all the grays in the crease and then like putting this all over the lid would be such a stunning moment. Or if you did like a smoky eye and then put that on the inner corner. Whew, I love that idea. Not to toot my own horn. And then we have the shade Polar from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. So we've got a nice, more blue-toned transition shade option. Super smooth and pigmented. We have got the shade Periwinkle from Emme Cosmetics. Just going to go ahead and do a little bit. Obviously, you can see super pigmented as well. This is a really, really great periwinkle shadow. And then we've got Moontide from Terra Moons, one of my all-time favorite shadows. Do you see that? The shift is so real on this one. It's phenomenal, phenomenal. And the texture and the shine and everything. It's just an amazing shadow. Okay, we've got Frizzen from Divina. I love that this one has like a light purple undertone. Just feel like it goes well with everything else happening in the palette. Okay, next we have the shade Mystic from Divina. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up a little bit of this one. And then we have Midnight from Glaminatrix Cosmetics. Oh, I'm like, which finger's clean? Just go ahead and put that there. Pigmentation is real. I hope I didn't just swatch that off camera. And then last but not least, Tuxedo from Sydney Grace. Just gonna pick up a good amount of that. And like I said, I really like this one because it blends super easily. It looks a little bit more gray there. I'm just gonna pick up a bit more. So there is my perfect cool tone palette all together. It's obviously lots of color. I wasn't sure how colorful I was going to go to begin with, but I love the purples and blues, and I just think that you could go super soft with this, or you could go pretty bold and dramatic. So there's a little up close of the palette. Like I said, I love how it turned out. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was fun. I do this all the time, so if you want to see more videos like this, more build your own palette videos, I can do it, no problem. It's my favorite thing to sit down and play with single shadows like this. So that's everything for today, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.